How are we doing?
I'm doing awesome. I mean, as well as one can be on Monday of finals week. How are you?
I have been coding a website for finals this week. And I'm a business major, so
Ah,
it's going great. It's going really great. Um, but would you like to introduce yourself?
sure. Yeah, my name's Vanessa Wentworth. I'm a fourth year general engineering student. I'm an engineering ambassador, so I give tours of the College of Engineering, and so I know a bit about all the different majors here on campus. If you have questions about that. I'm also doing a minor in math because math is cool. But yep,
Wait, what did you say your major was?
general engineering.
Very cool, very cool, very cool. Um, so for everyone out there wondering, Cal Poly is the university, and we have six colleges within that. And so I'm in the College of Business, and Vanessa is in the College of Engineering. So would you like to tell us a little bit about the College of Engineering?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's 13 majors in the College of Engineering, and then there's a couple other majors outside the College of Engineering that have engineering in the name, like architectural engineering, that's in the College of Architecture, and also liberal arts and engineering studies. So I don't know anything about those, unfortunately, but I can talk about the other 13 majors. And so they span basically a broad stuff. I don't know if you want me to like list all
Yeah,
of them, but
yeah,
okay, sure. Oh God, can I list all of them? Okay, so general engineering, that's one of them.
incredible.
Biomedical engineering. We have aerospace engineering. We also have materials engineering, industrial engineering, manufacturing engineering, materials. Did I already say materials?
I think so, but that's okay.
Okay. Mechanical engineering.
You're
We have
killing this.
civil engineering, environmental engineering, and then we have computer science, software engineering, electrical engineering, and computer engineering. And I think that's 13.
How you did that? I tried to do that on my tours, and I forget half of them every time. So that was more impressive than anything I could ever do. Um, so you have 13 majors. Are what kind of resources and like clubs? Because I know y'all have like what 80 clubs and labs.
Yeah, that's a great question. So we have two really excellent machine shops here on campus here that aren't just for engineering students, but they're spaces where students can actually build projects. Like we literally have like mills and lathes or like any power tools, and you can get what are called like red tags and yellow tags. You can learn how to weld. And if you don't know how to use tools, like they will train you and show you how to do them that way. You're not just like learning how to make products, like theoretically you're actually like going to make them, which I think is a really valuable skill for students because you can design anything you want in CAD, but if you can actually manufacture it, that's next level. So um, those are just machine shops here on campus. We also have like tons of resources in terms of like I think our most valuable resource is actually just our professors here on campus, and that they're always accessible to students in office hours. Like if I have questions, I go to them first to answer my questions, and as well as research.
So when I actually just gave a tour and we were hopping into the different shops, we stopped into the Bonderson Project Center. So I don't know if you want to talk about that a little bit, but he was telling us how you do get certified and you get like the red tags and yellow tags. So what is like that first quarter for some of our engineers look like in terms of like what skills they pick up?
Yeah, so in your first engineering class at Cal Poly, like you'll go ahead and dive right into like a project. That way you can like get that hands-on experience to see like, hey, do I even like engineering? Like you might not know it necessarily like your first quarter in college. And so they really want you to like go do that. So in my introductory engineering class, it was actually an assignment to like go get a red tag and like trained in the machine shop, and you ended up making like a metal bookend. And so it was just like a cool skill to like be able to do that your first quarter.
Very cool. My friend, he's mechanical. His name's Travis, and he did welding his first quarter.
Yeah.
Is that pretty common?
It is. So like you'll dive right into those hands-on engineering classes like your first year and onwards at Cal Poly. Like in addition to like your chemistry and physics and math, it's like you're also taking those introductory engineering courses.
Right. What are you involved in any clubs? In
Oh,
the
yeah.
club?
Yeah, so there's like tons of academic and non-academic ones. Like Hummus Club is non-academic, which is unrelated. But I can talk about the academic ones as well because that's probably more relevant. But like you mentioned, there's literally like dozens of clubs for students, and they're mainly all like student run. So I'm a part of the Society of Women Engineers, also called SWE. They're like a really excellent like networking organization for both men and women, though it is a lot of women in the club for whatever reason. And so it's really excellent to like get to meet with other students who are like you and kind of like make those little cohorts and also just like network with employers. They'll hold like and host networking events where you can meet with people in industry. I've also been a part of a club called the Prototype Vehicles Lab at Cal Poly, where we literally work on building a battery powered car to like go over 1,000 miles on a single charge. Like I worked on that for 3 years and like on the internal design with like designing the safety and like dashboard type area. Like that was a really valuable experience.
Wow. So you were able to hop into that. You said your fourth year. So when you were like a first or second year?
Yeah, literally, I joined that like a couple of months into school. I spent those
Wow.
first 2 months in school just like looking at all the different clubs. Like, I really enjoyed learning about Engineers Without Borders. That's another really excellent one, as well as like our Formula and Baja teams. People don't know what those are. That's a really excellent club to join for like any engineer. It's not just like a mechanical engineering, like car building. They definitely need all types of like materials engineers to and like biomedical to like make sure you fit the person and stuff doesn't break, right?
So I have a few friends that are in Baja. Can you dive into what Baja and Formula One is and stuff like that?
I don't know too much, but I do know that they participate in like competitions, I believe, once a year, and essentially their task is to build a race car once a year. So Baja is like the off-road kind of dune buggy racing, and then Formula is like racetrack type stuff. And so both of these vehicles are built from scratch by students every year as they change the parameters for what they need to do.
Gotcha. Wow. It is. Didn't we, for the land powered, human powered vehicle, didn't we like set the record?
We definitely have set a lot of records in this realm. I know there's other kinds of cars as well. Like there's one that literally, I think it might be called a gravity racer where it literally looks like a coffin and you just like slide downhill as fast as you can. That sounds horrible, but that's another thing too.
I mean, it must be really fun. I think a poly rep was, I'm a tour guide on campus, poly rep. So, I think he was on the team for like, yeah, they were breaking records and it's crazy. And I'll be walking down campus and like a concrete canoe competition. Like,
Yeah, so that's yeah. Civil engineering that we've got really excellent like concrete canoe as well as steel bridge competitions as well, and we are like really excellent at those, frankly.
who would have thought? Okay, so we have, along with the different clubs, we have, I mean, if you want to talk more to them, because I don't really know much about them, but like the wind tunnel and, like polysat and things like that.
Yeah, those are another great club. I'm just gonna add on to them. I'll talk about those too, but Quality of Life Plus, I think it's called Empower now
Yes.
as well. But the aero tunnel, so really cool thing we have on campus here. It's like it's a rolling track one, meaning that you can put like a small scale car on it to test aerodynamics and that, which we actually used for our prototype vehicles laboratory on like a small scale. Tesla has also used it. I know Amazon has tested their boxes, sorry, not boxes, for like drone delivery in the wind
Yeah.
tunnel, which like hint hint, like the most aerodynamic box is not a box, just by the way. So cool stuff like that. So students can test stuff like projects in there, which is really quite cool and fun.
Wow.
And I think you also mentioned like CubeSat and PolySat. That's more of an aerospace oriented club. And so like students actually build a 10 by 10 by 10 cubic centimeter, yes, little cube that we then launch. We have very conveniently Vandenberg Air Force Base close by. And so we can literally launch our payloads on there and we get data back here at Cal Poly. I don't know if people ever tour on campuses, but if they look on the tops of the buildings, there's like an awful lot of antenna. And
Yeah,
they,
we do have a lot of intent. Is that what it's
yeah,
for? Is it for the satellites?
some of them, yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, no, I'm serious. I don't know what data they're collecting. They don't tell us that, but whatever they're doing, they do get back the data and analyze it in that lab.
Are we they're partnered with NASA.
NASA, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I want to get that right.
NASA
I'm like,
DPL, I want to say.
that is so cool. Oh my, like just the stuff whenever I give tours, I'm like, oh yeah, we partner with Apple and we have like labs that are sponsored, right?
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah, I
what do
know
those
there's like
look like?
a Cisco networking lab, and there's also like a Northrop Grumman, I think, security something. If you look, this is where like in-person tours are more useful. It's just like if you're walking through the buildings, you just like see some posted stamp on the door. You're like, oh, this is sponsored by some big company. That's cool. So yeah.
I somehow got a position with Northrop Grumman for the summer. Busy
Nice. Oh,
stay
that's
there.
awesome.
Woo! But I was going through like our facts and I was on campus and I saw it and I was like, hey, that's pretty cool. And
Yeah.
speaking of, I think that one of the biggest things that I've heard about from the College of Engineering is the opportunities kind of post grad. So, can you talk a little bit about what that looks like for our engineering students?
Yeah, definitely. So Cal Poly has career fairs every quarter, which I found extremely helpful. I know my professors always encouraged me to go, even if I wasn't like literally even as like first quarter freshman student, my professor was like, go and just talk to an employer, like get all your fears out and just ask them like, what do you want? And like, and so yeah, I've gotten two internships out of just like talking to people at the career fair, and then I'm also going into a full-time job after graduation. So I definitely feel like they've been effective. So
Where are your internship or where were your internships and where's your job?
yeah, so one of my internships was at Abbott Laboratories. It's like a biomedical device company in the Bay Area. So that was actually a 6-month co-op program that I took off 2 quarters of school to go participate in. And like that was directly just from like walking up to someone at career fair and being like, hello, like can you please give me a job? And then
Hello,
people
please
here,
send help.
yeah, and so the great thing about the career fairs is that the people are already like biased and inclined to like you because they're a lot of times Cal Poly alumni coming back to like interview people. And that was the case. Like I was interviewed by someone who went to Cal Poly and they're like, hey, I like your school. So it gives
Hey
you that leg
friend.
up. Yeah.
And then what were the other ones?
Oh yeah. Another one was at Core Medical Ventures, which is a super tiny another medical device company in down in San Diego, and that was a direct product of networking with Cal Poly alumni. Like two of the founders there work or went to Cal Poly, and so again, we're biased towards Cal Poly graduates.
I mean, when you know, like, I feel like when you know what the students are learning, and if you've gotten that education, and if you're like an engineering graduate, and you're like, I know exactly what you learned, and you did it pretty well, then it's kind of a no-brainer, you know?
Yeah, and then the job I'm going into after graduation is at a company called Applied Medical. Again, you
Nope.
can get the theme in terms of like medical devices, but
I'm catching on. That is something I'm noticing. Yes.
yeah, so that's what I'm going into, but that's honestly a direct product of having those previous internships that definitely helps like give you the job offer and then
Right.
yes.
So what are, I mean, I know these things, but I would love to hear you elaborate. But like, what kind of other employers are there for Cal Poly grads, especially?
Yeah, so I mean, you have all the big names out there in terms of like Amazon and Boeing and those kinds of places, but we also have really nice local career fairs as well if you want to stay like local, so to speak. And so I know they have separate career fairs for that, but like quite literally any industry you want to look for, they put up a website before I totally forgot the name, career fairs. That way you can like look through the employers and like see what kind of jobs that they're posting, which I found really helpful. So I was like always a little confused, like as a general engineer, I'm like, I don't know what that means and they don't know what that means. So it's like trying to like find a matchup between those. They do a really good job of like listing what kind of like majors they're looking for in that.
I agree. You did mention um, co-ops, which my friend Travis, he's mechanical engineering, like I said, he did a co-op with both Tesla and United. So can you talk a little bit about what Tesla or not what co-ops look like at Cal Poly and like are they common? What are they?
Yeah, I actually have no idea if they're common or not.
I've
But
heard of
basically, oh, okay, well, I'm led to believe now that they are more common than I thought. But essentially, it's just like a longer than normal internship. Like mine started in January and it went to July. And like theoretically, you could also get like course credit while you're doing your co-ops. I didn't just because it would have like required like writing a paper. So I was like, uh, I didn't need the credits. But that being said, you can like apply for credits in that regard. And some it's worked out to where I'm still graduating in 4 years, like even though I took those 2 quarters off. But that's honestly because I've done summer school every summer, probably. That's
Wow.
me.
Okay. Did you find that Cal Poly like really, and I don't know whether your advisors, your professors, whoever, like really supported you taking, I don't know, like some time off of school to go do that?
Mm. To be completely honest, it was a mix. Like I had some professors actually like recommend like maybe you should wait just in terms of like being able to graduate in time to like just do the summer internship. That way you're not behind. But I was like, no, I'm just gonna work my butt off and do summer school every summer instead because I like really wanted to work for this company. But they definitely like did encourage me like, hey, this is like a great opportunity. It's in a field you like go for it, definitely.
That's great. I mean, that's from what I've heard from people is um very when they have that opportunity, it's like graduation will still be there. But an internship at a great biomedical firm is like invaluable kind of thing, you know?
That's what I was thinking.
Right, I agree. So obviously, for anyone out there listening, we go to Cal Poly. Our motto is "Learn by Doing." They did an entire branding change to address that. Can you talk about what Learn by Doing looks like in the College of Engineering, maybe for a few different majors?
Yeah, so it's quite literal in the College of Engineering in terms of, I mentioned a little bit before, in terms of, I deal a lot with computer aided design or like CAD programs in terms of like building projects. Like for my senior project, I'm working on building like a portable ventilator with a group of computer engineering students. And so that involves like some CAD parts in terms of like getting oxygen and air to mix and pressurize in a certain way, and so I'm like making literal CAD models of this, and then I'm 3D printing it. And then I'm basically doing testing with that actual product in terms with like pressurized air and oxygen to like see if it's actually getting the outputs that I think it's going to do, which most of the time it's not because I did something wrong, which is why you test it. So that's just one example that I've had in terms of learn by doing. But I think that our lab classes as well as our extracurricular clubs are also like major points where I've got my hands-on experience. Like I know I forgot to mention Quality of Life Plus. That's a student-led organization kind of in the biomedical engineering space, and they do a really excellent job of like soliciting projects from the community. Like I know in the past they've had a woman who was missing the lower part of her leg, and she used to be like a triathlon athlete. And so she was looking to like get back into that again. So they made a swimming fin for her so that she could like evenly work out her leg muscles. And so like that's just one example of a project that students work on here. And so
Wow.
yeah.
I never heard that one. I had heard about the little boy with the prosthetic arm, and they built
Yeah.
like the Lego base off of it.
Like
And
I didn't know that.
yeah, they customized it and they put this is a polyrep story that's been passed down to all of us tour guides, but yeah, they built a prosthetic and they put like a Lego like sleeve on it, and he was like building swords off of it, and it's really cute, and he like
That
customized
was
it.
really cool.
Isn't
Yeah.
it cute? That's sweet. It makes my heart
That
happy.
project was really challenging just because like building a prosthetic for a kid, they're growing all the time. So like that was the main challenge with that project. So I have heard interesting things about that.
Yeah, I don't know how. I mean, and it sounds like you're going to work for like biomedical type things.
Yeah, I know I'll be working on like surgical tools,
Wow.
but
Wow, that is blows my mind. I took an accounting class, and
it's kind of gross, but a little bit.
so wow, the learn by doing. And what are your professors like? Like, are you close with them, or do they like what kind of? I aren't they like from industry? Aren't your professors mostly like from industry?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think I've had a professor who hasn't worked in industry for some amount of time. And this is essentially like I've given up on life and I want to actually make a better generation of students. So that's like probably one of the best things about our professors is that they have that industry experience. So like the example problems that we're doing in class are literally like, hey, I was working on this rocket engine and like I built this part and it failed. So like let's analyze it and see why that happened. So it's like really cool that they have that experience because it's not just their abstract like, oh, this is theoretically how things work. It's like, hey, this is what I did in industry. So like you should have these same practices. So
That is
yeah.
so cool. That is really so cool. Well, I honestly like, I know the College of Engineering is like so big. So are there any things that like any kind of last things on your mind that you're like, I want everyone to know this?
Yeah. I guess there's two things I just wanted to touch on real quick. One of them was study abroad, and the other one I totally just forgot again. Well, let's talk about study abroad. I just wanted to like put it out there that it's totally possible for engineers to do. It's not that your schedule is so inflexible that you can't study abroad. I did do that. You can take major courses abroad, so
Oh, you did study abroad?
that's possible. I did.
Where'd you go?
I went to the Munich University of Applied Sciences.
You went to Germany. I was gonna say, when I went to
Common
Prague,
for engineers.
all the engineers they go to Germany. Do they go to Switzerland too, or am I totally making that up?
I don't know, but I could definitely see that happening.
Yeah, but I have heard like every student ever goes to Germany, especially for I know for engineering and for architecture. Yeah.
Yeah, it's because Cal Poly has like a sister school there, which basically just means it's very similar to Cal Poly and like that hands-on mentality. Like my
We have a
classes were
German
literally
sister school.
what?
We have a German sister school.
Yeah, that's why that school, it's like
Absolutely.
it's the same
For sure.
tuition. It's like I was with, well, there were some Cal Poly students, but actually like some of the Cal Poly professors go with you. And so like half my professors were Cal Poly professors and half of them were like the German professors. And they would switch off weeks teaching the same class. It was like very bizarre, like having the different perspectives. Because like my German professors were just like, hey, let's like go to this car factory and watch them build engines. Like the Cal Poly professors were like, you need to code this and like do a simulation. I was like, you make it so much harder, but it was funny.
Choose one, okay? Choose one. Do we remember what the second one was by any chance?
Oh wait, it was about research.
Incredible.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say Cal Poly is like a super intense research institution, but it's the opportunities are still available for students. So I just wanted to mention that because I was also involved in research here on campus. We have like a summer undergraduate research program where you literally just like apply to any project. Like I worked on like a sustainability project with converting carbon dioxide to not carbon dioxide stuff, which is cool.
That's
But yeah,
so
I just want to put out there that like research opportunities also do exist in the College of Engineering.
That is so cool. Like, wow. I love hearing about all the different stuff y'all do in like your different classes. I've been able to talk with like cafes, agriculture, food, and environmental science, and college science math, and all that good stuff. So I like love hearing about this. I think it's so cool what you do. And congratulations on your job for post grad. That's huge.
Oh, thank you.
That is crazy. If anyone has any questions, y'all can go ahead and put them in the chat. But is there any like while we're waiting for any potential questions coming in, is there any piece of advice you would give to anyone who is headed to Cal Poly or is going to be just going through the whole college process?
That's a big ask. I don't know. I guess just being open-minded your first, well, forever, but especially when you're first starting out in college. Like I think it would definitely have helped me more to be more open-minded like that, especially when like looking at different clubs and organizations. I think those have probably been the best like kind of social as well as academic outlet to like kind of just roll those together.
Yeah,
Clubs are good.
I agree. My senior project is why you should be involved in clubs for professional development. We do have a question here. Okay, is admission still open? Admission will like applications for Cal Poly will be opening back up in the fall. So keep your eye out for that. And we have a question for you. Could you go a little bit more into depth about electrical engineering at Cal Poly?
Yeah. So electrical engineering is very hardware focused in terms of looking at the physical components of electronics, in terms of like your motherboard GUI type stuff. It differs from computer engineering in that it's not so much of the high level coding, it's more just talking between the components, if that makes sense. I'm doing my senior project with a bunch of computer engineers and electrical engineers, so I honestly don't understand most of the jargon that they're saying, but I do know that it's about like connecting the different hardware components in terms of like I have this humidity sensor or this pressure sensor, and like how do I actually get data from that? So kind of that. I don't know if that helps, but
Electrical engineering, they have like the whole building dedicated to them, and it seems so cool. I just got to know about Cal Poly, and I'm so interested in joining. Well, apply if you have not for. Well, I mean, you probably haven't yet. Apply for the fall, and it's a great place to be. It is absolutely a great place. Vanessa, I want to say thank you so much for hopping on here today. And thank you for all your knowledge and the good vibes that you're sending out there. So thank you so much.
good
Good luck
vibes
on
there
finals.
as well. Yes. Oh God. Thank you too.
You got this. Bye.
Bye. I don't know how to exit. Oh.
All right, everyone. Hello. So if y'all have any questions or anything, go ahead and text that number at the bottom. It is, like I said, our last week of school, so but we will be continuing Mustang Mondays going into the summer. And if y'all again are accepted students coming to Cal Poly in the fall, definitely come and visit Cal Poly. We are having in-person tours, and if you're a prospective student wanting to tour, those go ahead and start up July 1st. But everyone, I am wishing everyone a great week. Stay healthy, stay happy, and I will catch y'all back next week or the week after. So thank you so much. This will be uploaded on our Instagram TV live and our admissions YouTube channel. So all right, that is it for me. Thanks everyone. Have a great week.
Hey there, my name is Rafael. I'm a fourth year journalism transfer student with a minor in Spanish, and my pronouns are he, him, his. Thank you for watching the video. Please share any questions or comments you have down below in the comment section, and go ahead and click here to subscribe, and to watch more videos, click here. If you want to sign up for a virtual visit or talk to any student or staff members, check out our website. Link in the description. Thank you for watching.